All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is January 16th, 2016, and the title of today's webinar is Retracement Trades and How to Trade Them. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading rooms, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, I don't see any, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, real quick, I'm not going to go over some of the details that we've done in the other webinars. You probably want to look at Wednesday's webinar to see the overall direction of the trend without seeing the prices and everything on the chart. But I think everybody can obviously tell right at this moment anyway, what is the direction of the trend and what direction would you be wanting to take the trades at? Right, short, right? Okay, now keep in mind one thing. I want to show you something here that happens quite often. Watch these little ellipses here. As these markets go down, notice these ellipses hold, okay? Notice that they hold, they hold, they hold. We're going over a little bit further. Okay, notice each time they come down to them, you know, if it doesn't take out the ellipse, it pretty much just heads up, right? Notice when it starts taking out the ellipse, and it didn't do it, you know, here because it bounced off of it. Didn't do it here because it bounced off of it. Didn't do it here because it bounced off of it. And even here, but then it started breaking here. Notice how it broke that ellipse. And then, of course, you get your retracement trade. And you look for the mid-band type trade and take your trade. And that's why I like these. They're, you know, they may be a little busy on a chart, but I like them because they really give you a heads up of what's going on. Okay, for instance, if you look at this chart right here, you can clearly see that 60 is resistance on the chart, right? Okay, so if you wanted to, you know, on another chart that is, go ahead and take a trade, you know, at that 60 if it happens to break it. We do that all the time in the room, don't we? Or you can simply wait for the retracement, and that's what we like to do even the most. Now, this little trade right here, I can see something that's happening right now because see where that ellipse is right there? That's pretty much hitting that ellipse previous right there. So it looks to me like it would turn down and head on down a little bit. Does anybody agree with that? Does that look like that to you? It does to me a little bit. Now, I don't know if we'll get anything on it, but what I would do in a case like this one right here, still biased to the downside, would be to hit a box like that, okay? Turn off the long. Unless you want on another chart, I would simply do this, or something like that even if you wanted to take a chance that it might actually flow out the other way. Let's see, double bottom, so may head up some, Peter. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's a double bottom in the sense that, you know, it barely took out this low here, but technically we don't know this is a double bottom yet because it hasn't even tested this bottom yet, has it? So I would draw a line here, you know, for instance, and if this was to break this little box, I'd pretty much figure I could get 10 ticks because I'm going to at least come down to here or here, and possibly even here on the ellipse. See the little ellipse right there? So we'll go ahead and draw it too. All right, so that's what I'd kind of be looking for right there, and then I'd hit my box. Now, if you didn't want to go deep on it, you don't have to, okay? If you want to scalp instead, you can simply turn on a few contracts and just simply turn off a couple of targets. That way you'd go for 2 5s and 1 10. I don't particularly like that as much, so I'd probably change this a little different than that. Or you could go something like this and just do something like 8 and 10, you know, if you wanted to, because you can clearly see there's at least 8 ticks down to here, right? And there's at least 10 ticks down to here. while you're diagnosing. Now this is if the chart's moving nice and slow, you know, which in the morning you do have the luxury that it does move a little slower. Okay, you definitely do have that. So let's see if we can just get a little green here. This is some actual trades that when I showed you on Friday that I was up on oil before we opened the room. These are some of those trades that I actually had. And I didn't necessarily use the close because I don't really like that as much because see that takes a lot of my trade away. Okay. That takes a lot of my trade away. So it's up to you on that part. You know, if it closes right on the box, then you're going to get a full candle and another tick. And that's too much of that trade to me. That little box was probably better with maybe a couple of ticks on a touch. Okay. Now, if this closes below this swing right here, where's our lightning on this chart? Because I want to show you how, just a little bit, and then we're going to go into some retracement trades too, but I want to show you how to trade lightning with these regions. That works out pretty well because we haven't closed below this yet, and we don't know if we're going to. Right now, your swing is here. That's kind of identified because it's a medium swing, okay? But this is your swing right here at 50 even if this takes out this swing across here, right there with the close of the bar. Remember, we like to look for close of the bar on those trades like that. Okay, let's speed this up just a little bit. Okay, now while I'm in this trade, couldn't I be ready to go ahead and take another trade if this happens to work out the way I want it, where I get lightning identified across here? You want to just scalp them and see? Nothing at the bottom because we're just still in our short trade, right? So what we're trying to do right now is get the rest of our short trade, and now we're going to have to protect our coin because you notice that we didn't go any further there, and we're coming back up through resistance right across here. So see, I only got like $140 on that right then, okay? This is your lightning swing now. It's identified. See your high, your low, lower over here. So you have a low, a high, a lower low, and that's an identified swing. Now keep in mind that this is still a red background, okay? But that is truly a lightning swing. And if you do want to take those type of trades like that, believe me, a lot of them work out. But you can also just simply wait for the little retracement into it too, if it happens to break this ellipse, okay? Now see, that's actually trying its best to break our lightning right there, okay? See how it broke our lightning right there? That's our little lightning swing. And of course, your target would be right up here, would be one of them. And then you look to the left to trade the right, probably right across. There's a swing, right? And here's a swing right across here. And you could trade with lightning and see your lightning right now is right underneath that swing right there. Okay. Now let's talk about the way they break these ellipses, by the way. But trading the three trends that I talk about all the time too. Let me show you something that I like to do because I did this in the room on Friday. See this big swing across here? This is what I call my longer term trend. Okay. I need a lower high than this to continue down. Okay. So what I like to do myself when I'm trading is I like to look for that phantom trade. Okay. Anytime you've got a choice that phantom trade is not a bad trade to look for, and just see what it does up there. And what you can do when it gets up to phantom is just watch and see if it forms a little rollover type area and see if you can get it. Now, if you want to quit trading against these little ellipses, one thing that I've been noticing on these charts, when they start breaking these ellipses right here, it doesn't change trends right away, but it does change trends. You can usually see that they're going to finally change to the other direction once they start taking these ellipses out. Now, if they barely take them out like this and then pop back down and take it back out and go down, then that's pretty much off the table. Okay. Yeah, we don't have hardly any profit in it just yet. See why it's probably better to wait for the retrace? Because where's the retrace on this little trade? If you were trading just micro lightning, whoop, wrong one. Let me change it. Sorry about that. We'll do this one. See that swing right there? That's more than likely where that trade would bounce. That's the way we draw them in that room even, don't we? Now I've got 4 on, so I'm not going to add anything to it, but see how it bounced right there at that little swing? That's what that thrust and retrace is. Okay. Now we're trading a little bit counter trend on this just simply because I'm showing you how to trade with the micro lightning if you want to trade these swing breaks, because they do work. You know, they work at the opens, they work, you know, afterwards, they work about any time. Okay. Just be conscious of the fact that, you know, if you trade against the trend, you're pretty much going to the next level of resistance, which is right to the left. And if you look to the left to trade the right again, the next one that I see personally is just right across there at that swing. See it looking to the left to trade the right? Because you've already got this one as your target. Now you're going with this one. So you can just simply put your target right there. Let's see. My question is that the ellipse below there does not mean it will head there. Well, no, Pat, on your question, no, what I was talking about is that these ellipses, notice how those ellipses at the bottom there are starting to instead of heading down, they're heading more upward. Now this isn't telling you that it's trend change. See, like right here, you had a low ellipse, a higher, a higher, a higher, and even a higher, but notice that it just hit resistance and rolled over. And if you were up at 5:20 in the morning, you could have gotten that trade to the downside. Okay, we're looking for another trade on this chart as soon as it gets up here and kisses resistance. Okay, and looking to the left to trade the right, what will it do if we take out this swing right here? Well, our next swing up is all the way up here, isn't it? Because see, you've got these little thrust up, retrace, thrust up. There's one right there even. You might just bring your target up there, but be careful and watch it. Looking to the left to trade the right. And then right here would be your next one. So you could actually do something like this. We did this in the room on Friday. That little swing right there will make a difference in whether or not this goes up or down. Now, all we're doing right now is we're just kind of scalping this. We can go for runners if you want, or we can just simply do some little scalping on this, and you'll find that that works out pretty well, by the way. There's your little ellipse right there. Okay, we got our target. This was the Band-Aid on Friday when it comes to about right over here. If I remember right, it hits somewhere in here because we actually boxed it and shorted it down to mid-band. But see, looking to the left to trade the right, just looking always to the left, these little swings, you're trying to see where they're going to go and if they're going to hit their head. Now, if this blows up through here, then obviously this is not going to fire. Okay? And we could still be in our long because this has not done a lightning. What we did is just went for quick targets. Okay? Just strictly going for quick targets. Now, it's taken out the swing to the left, so when I look at something like that, I figure that it's going to at least go up and test looking to the left to trade the right, at least right here, and possibly even up in here, right? Because that's those little lightning swings. Okay, you just hit your resistance right there. Okay. Now, if you don't want this thing just to blow away from you, obviously what you could do is you could put your stop above the swing. And if they decide to just blow this thing up through here, you could actually even reverse it if you wanted to. Now, I'd be careful with reversals, though, because usually what you want is a break above here and then a pullback into it. So I don't normally turn on reverse like that. Okay, now looking to the left to trade the right, we didn't even get our target moved in time. There would be your next target down right there. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't you expect it to be there? Looking to the left to trade the right, could you look to this little retracement we'll go ahead and get this out of the way just in case it runs. We don't know if it's going to run yet, but this would look to me like it should bounce there too, okay? Because that's finally broken up above what? Resistance, right? So where is support on this chart? It's right down here. So could I actually do something like that? And if it bounces off of that, I could get in this, the reverse side of the trade. That's what we look at all the time in the room. Thrust up, retrace. That's where we draw these lines on the chart. See if we can get it. Whoop, we got to turn this on though. There we go. Well, we may not get it now, but we'll see. There we go. Is it going to do it? All right, it just reversed right off of support right there. All right, now we're feeling a little bit of heat. That's okay, because you're going to expect that it's going to pull down a little bit on these support areas. We like to get the bar closed a lot of times, but I had several people wanting me to use the region today, and I'm going to start using some sniper also. Okay. Now let's get rid of this, and let's go ahead and put our Band-Aid on. Let me real quick make sure I've got Band-Aid from Friday. Just one sec. We always like to play it. By the way, I'm working on some different names for tools and everything like that. Let's see, where is my time reason? There we go. I'll have to change my colors again, of course. Okay, so that was on the 15th. We trade 759. We trade 831. And we trade 832. And we had a high energy time yesterday too. And of course you can change the colors of these to whatever you want them to be. We'll go ahead and do that one gold. We'll do that one white smoke. That's good enough for now. I'll fix it on later. And I just lost my trade. Never do what I just did right there when you're in a trade. Maybe it didn't. All right, let's go ahead and fire this up and see if we can get this. And let's see if this Band-Aid will draw up here. Now, where's our target on this again? If you're going to scalp, that is. Now, we're not talking about just going for runners. We're just going looking to the left to trade the right, just to see if we can still make money. A lot of our traders don't go for really, really large runs, hardly ever, except at the very open of the market and at news events. But you know, when you can clearly see that when you walk in the room and look at your computer that you've got a high, a low, a lower high, lower low down here, then obviously this little top should kind of hold, shouldn't it? If they're going to head down. Now, if they're going to head up, what would they do? We teach this all the time. They would break above this area right here, and they would pull back and kiss it, and then more than likely we'd get a green background and everything. We got a green background, we just don't have a mid-band yet. Okay, let's see if we can get our little bandito. Everybody see why you can draw on your charts like that, you know, and look at those thrust retraces? You know, if they go against you like right off the bat, you can get out of them pretty quick. You know, see that trade that we just took, we felt what, 4 ticks of heat, 5 ticks of heat, something like that. Okay, let's see, it's 754.50, so we don't get our Band-Aid just yet. Not going to get our Band-Aid just yet. Did not get our target. Did you notice that just then? Now, where do you think this is going to pull back to? More than likely, looking to the left to trade the right, don't you think it's going to hit its head right there at that line? More than likely. And then pop up possibly and get our target, or you could tighten your stop either way. Watch and see if it doesn't pull back right to that point right there. Because I just about bet it comes off. Well, we got our target, so it doesn't matter anymore. Okay? Now, looking to the left to trade the right, we do have a mid-band that's turning green now, but we haven't got our ellipses quite turning the green and blue. Okay? Now, that's one thing you got to really watch until it does that. I'm going to take that one more time. Right there at that little support level. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's what they do. They check those levels. You can scalp these things literally all day long. Now, of course, looking to the left to trade the right, you've got target right there and right there. Yeah, you got them. See why you took that right there? If you draw lightning, you'll see it. See the lightning thrust, retrace thrust. Doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count, comes back and kisses. Scalp a trade like that, adds up pretty quickly. Okay, now this trade right here that we took in the room on Friday was simply the Band-Aid. And notice that this is not taking out this top just yet. Everybody see that right there? It's not taking that top out just yet. All right, now right now we've got lightning right here that's basically identified because you've got support right here. So could you actually look right here for the time being for a trade to mid-band? That looks like at least 10 ticks to me, so I would probably take that. But if we get another lightning, like if it does continue going up, we'll see if we can get our Band-Aid drawing any moment. It's still 2 minutes away. If this closes above here, that's your identified lightning right there at 72. Didn't close, so it's not it. Speed this up just a little bit. See, this is not lightning because they didn't take out that high. This is lightning down here. Now, if they take out this high with a close, this is your new lightning right here. So right now, while this is forming, could you be ready to see if you could retrace at least like down to here or even mid-band by boxing that in? That's in essence what we did on Friday with the Band-Aid. Let's go ahead and let the Band-Aid draw. It's got 6 seconds. There's your Band-Aid right there. And there's your trade. Does anybody remember taking that trade? Looking to the left to trade the right, where are we at? There's a swing right across there. There's a swing right across here. And if you've got only 2 targets, that's what I'd be looking for. I just messed up and hit delete and got rid of that. Okay, where is your next bounce area on this chart that you can see clearly? You got a high, you got a low, you got a higher high. This is your lightning swing right there. Okay, now this trade I missed on Friday because I was still holding my short. But let me show you how to trade it though. Because all you got to really do is look at resistance, watch it, and there's your little formed box right there. No short. Yeah, you could short if you wanted to. You just simply Look to the left to trade the right at your lightning. I think I messed up Object Trader. Actually, I knew I did when I hit that. Bear with me 1 second. That would have been a nice little trade too, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's restart it. Anytime you do something like that to Object Trader, if it does not fire, you've got to actually restart it, because it actually throws it out of a loop, and you don't go hit and delete while you got targets on the screen. That's a no-no. Okay? That's a big no-no. All right, let's see. Looking to the left to trade the right. Where do you think more than likely this trade will come now that we've missed this one? No big deal. Where are you looking for your next trade? Well, couldn't you look at possibly the mid-band again? Because we just missed a good run, but you're not going to chase it. See, I tried to get it right here, but unfortunately we couldn't get it. Okay, so you've got to wait for the retracement. All right, retracement, mid-band's right there. Looking to the left to trade the right. I've got a nice swing across right there. See it? Right there at 65. You know, see if we can get that. And we're going to do a sniper. And since these are both below it, not even going to turn this one on here because that would be a breakout trade. That's our support, looking to the left to trade the right, and so is this one right here. It's already tested here, so what do you expect if you're going to get higher lows and higher highs? You expect higher low. So we're waiting for a retracement. Let's see, what is off? Bear with me a second, Walter says. LD, very good, thank you. Now notice that's also one of our little ellipses too. And what did we say if it starts taking out ellipses, which it hasn't done, so it's still an uptrend, right? Now I would also look, if you want to just do like say 2 here, I see another swing right across here too. That's an identified swing. If you want to try to go ahead and get here, see this is also where it thrust up too. See your lightning shot right up. So they haven't tested that right there. So let's turn them both on. If it blows through one, it'll take the other one. Blows through both of them, it won't take anything. We'll go ahead and turn these. We're going to scalp today. How many of you scalped on Friday somewhat until that market started really slowing down? I think that was the fastest moving market I've seen personally in about a year. Thomas P., how do we know it's going to come back to that magenta line? Well, for one thing, mid-band is a very important indicator that we've developed, and it's looking at these prices, so it's going to try to bounce right off that swing right there at mid-band, and if it goes any lower than that, it should bounce off of here. This is looking to the left to trade the right. Notice how you had lightning like that, and then they just busted up above this where, you know, we got out of our short on Friday, but we didn't flip it, and it went up pretty quick, just like it did just a minute ago. We needed that on touch plus 2 at least, not touch. You got to do a plus. See, I think we might have missed that one. We'll get the other one if it does. But see how that broke out above here? It's never tested it. So they usually will come down and test that. You'll find that a lot. But we missed that one because I had touch plus 0. Try it again. Wait patiently. See what we can get. We got to get a pullback. This is a retracement trading webinar today. If you miss a trade because you're talking or you get sniper set wrong, just wait. They'll come back where they break out. By the way, that was another short from your box on your open. Of course, we got a green background now, so you probably wouldn't do that. Let's see if we can get, okay, we got a trade. I'm going to reactivate it and do one more if it comes down and kisses where we broke out. That's also a major swing too, and they have not tested it except right here. And they broke it here, so that kind of negates the test. So a lot of times they'll test it again. And these ellipses, like I say, are pretty important too. And where you break out of a trade, looking to the left to trade the right, they'll come down there quite often and go ahead and give you a pretty decent trade. Okay, let's see if we can get a scalp on this little dude. Looking to the left to trade the right, where is our resistance? We have resistance right across here. An a priori swing, though, that's even more important is right there at 78. So I would probably put a target at 78. Fade it even a couple of ticks if you want to, like 76. Feeling a little bit of heat. Now there's another way you can trade this too, and that is obviously you can wait for it to break lightning to the upside instead of just jumping in. But this is definitely our support where it busted up, so you know it technically should hold. So you got a target right here, and your next target would be up here at this swing, right? Still dawdling around. You're back in the red a little bit again. Needs to bounce off that pink, that magenta line though. That's where it broke up. Have you ever noticed that when they take those bars straight up like that, that they always come back and test them? I'll bet you it comes all the way back to here because it's never tested that swing right there because that's where it busted up. So they slowly come down there and test their breakouts. We just got our 5th contract. Now with this particular trade being 12 ticks, truthfully, when I'm trading like this right here, and I see that we're definitely, you know, trying to head up anyway, we've got higher lows and higher highs so far anyway, I usually put my stop underneath this swing. But you got to be careful with that because sometimes you'll look up and you'll say, whoa, I got a 16 tick with 5 contracts. That's like $800. So you don't have to do that, but be aware that they could wick you out. So I'll usually turn on exit on close, and you'll get that again very shortly. All right, looking to the left to trade the right. You got a swing right there, right? And that's your 830 Band-Aid right there. You're already long 3, so I probably wouldn't do it. But couldn't you actually, with this Band-Aid, we did actually talk about this on Friday. Remember? Using sniper even if you wanted to. And going for a couple of contracts. See there? That's right out of that Band-Aid. Where's our lightning swing on this chart right now? It's right below where we got in, isn't it? See it right there? Right where my cursor's at. We called that trade on Friday too. Remember we said we were going to go ahead and take the opening Band-Aid trade? It was pretty obvious it was going to break up above that box because you could see your swing right here, see where it had come up, pulled back a little bit, made a consolidation patch. That's a perfect area to look to get in. And of course your target was right here, looking to the left to trade the right, and up here. And then you can even run a runner because this is at the open of the market right here, the regular equities. And then you could just simply lag your stop back behind lightning, like so. Because if this comes against us, we may not want this. See how you get higher lows and higher highs when they're really going in your favor? That's what a trend is. What if you missed this trade entirely? Where does everybody think there's another trade on this chart? Where did it break up just now above? Let's just pretend you're not even in it. Okay, it just hit a good target right up here, but we're still in 4. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Does everybody see another trade on this chart right here? You could draw a line. Let me get rid of these sniper lines real quick. Draw your lines. There's a swing right there. There's a swing right across there. That would be actually even with this one. So to go higher with higher lows and higher highs, I expect it to hit its head right there at that box, and I would buy it there. Does everybody know why I bought it there? That's a retracement trade. Now, if it takes out that swing that I've got there at 73, guess what? It's no longer heading up. But I'm expecting higher highs again simply because of this lightning look on the chart, okay? And where did it break up? We said it broke up right here, right? Don't take these little consolidations like this. Remember, it came down and tested this one. So where it hadn't tested this one. So it comes down and tests this one. Looking to the left to trade the right, you just simply go like to your top or to your previous swing. If you just want to scalp it, go to your previous swing. See, that's your swing. If you look to the left, you could go to this swing, then this one, and just ride your runner accordingly. Now, when I draw on those charts in the room, that's exactly the diagnosis that I'm taking and making on those charts. Thrust, retrace. And when they break those lightning swings, they are no longer heading up. Where does somebody see another trade setting up again right across here, looking to the left to trade the right? Well, we just missed it. Always look at these little swings. See, we already did this one right here just a second ago. But let's say that you weren't in this trade yet. It should bounce off that line. See what I mean? Got that one a little late. Target is right up here at this ellipse now that the ellipse printed. Right there. Where's our lightning swing on this chart right now? Our lightning swing on the chart is right there. So you bring your stop just underneath lightning. And just let it do its thing and head up. Let's see, not to change the subject, but where's the insert key to put in a box or on a keypad? Greg, on your question, is yours a laptop or a desktop? It's a laptop? Well, a laptop, probably you want to look all over the keyboard and see, because truthfully, they're in different places. Sometimes you have to punch those function keys, but there's even some software on the internet that you can actually make a key anything you want it to be. But they're usually, like my laptop, to give an example, that I've got over, in my sunroom, to give an example, it's just got a insert key on it. Some of them don't, though. They've got those F2, F6, or whatever it might be. Looks like we're going to get stopped out, and there we just did. Okay? That's really how easy it is to trade these like this. Now, I'm seeing something happening right here that I don't really particularly like, because look what's happening on the chart. That's your support right there for your medium swing, isn't it? Could you be ready to take that trade if they break it? To the downside? That's your medium swing. Or do you want to just wait for the ellipse to be broken instead? That's a little riskier trade right there because they'll wick you a lot of times into a trade like that. So maybe you want to wait for a close. Because usually if they close below them, they'll come back and kiss them, so you won't feel a lot of heat on it if it breaks it. Now, it's not breaking it yet, but that is your medium swing. That's those type of trades we call in the room on a lot of mornings, where we're looking at that level right there. And if it breaks it, you can get you some fast coin. If you're a gutsy trader, you can even trade lightning. This isn't forming lightning just yet. There's a little wick. Nope, it's not going to give it to you. But if it breaks that medium swing right there, you could definitely do a breakout trade if you want to. Now keep in mind that that's got a mid-band swing right there, so very possibly, I don't know why I didn't get that just then. I turned my sniper on and everything. If it closes below it, I'm going to take it anyway. You could even do it on this swing right here if you wanted to. That's good enough for me. I'd try to head down to Phantom. See how that's a low, high, low, lower high, lower low, took it out. Now you'd have to be careful, and I would probably put my stop just above that. And if they were to go above that swing right there with like a close, I would probably look to absolutely take that trade off the table. But just follow lightning. And if lightning is actually heading down like it is right now, we should get a lower high even right now. Watch it and see if it does. Testing the swing. Closes down. If it closes down, and it did, that's more than likely a good safe stop right across there. Okay. Now what could you do if you want just the retracement trade of it instead? Well, wait for it to break like that, obviously, and then pull back and kiss. Now, if this takes out that lightning back to the upside, we're very possibly going to head back up. But right now, you took out the medium swing, and that's where a lot of our traders will short those. Nice tight stop. Okay, let me ask you another quick question on this. If you're not comfortable with some of these like counter trend here and there, because there are counter trend trades on these charts a lot of times that you can take. We take them in the room and we call them all the time. But if you're not comfortable with that, what do you want to really wait for? You want to wait for the thrust to break support, and you want to wait for the mid-band type of medium retracement. Absolutely. Now, where do you think more than likely this is going to retrace to? You can see it right now, right before your eyes, right there. See where it broke down? Pretend you're not in it and see if we can take that one. May not get it. Came to this one instead. Bar close. Anybody see why I took that trade right there? It kissed resistance. That's still a long trade, by the way, but that's resistance right there. So if that holds, we're going to head on down. Now, you don't have to take that trade like that. You can also do it like this. That kissed exactly where I thought it would. It may not hold for me, though. Your stop could be above the lightning swing. Okay? But you could also box this in, too. Like so. If it breaks below that, Sell it. Not closed yet. Still not closed yet. Your box would actually be right there now. And you could even do that as an actual region box too. Okay, just get the region set up. Hopefully I can get it in time. And we'll turn it on. See what we're getting at about these retracement trades? Every single time these markets break up or down, they always retrace to where they just did it. Okay, if they're stair stepping down or up. Now, there's times that the market will just move like a house afire, and on those type of deals like that, you just got to wait for a little bar to close, kind of do a little bit of like it's trying to retrace, and then just grab that trade. And then be careful just in case, it literally goes against you. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and see, where's the next trade on this chart? I'm going to get rid of some markers on my chart. Let's look to the left to trade the right. I'm going to get rid of region. Okay, we've got a mid band starting right here. Okay, we broke down right across here, right? Now that would have to thrust down below that before I would be happy with that trade. Pretty good. And really, it didn't break down there. It actually broke down up here. Okay, so I would be looking at least at that 60 for a rollover. And if you want to trade against the trend, do the same thing we did just a minute ago with lightning. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Just one sec. Are you hearing my audio? I think I leaned against it. Sorry about that. Notice how that lightning was just taken out right there on that little counter trend trade. Now keep in mind on these counter trend trades, always trust lightning. Don't just think you got a little consolidation patch and you go against the trend. If lightning changes direction, you're technically trading the micro trend. Okay, you're not paying as much attention to backgrounds or anything else when you do that. And be careful with the fact that this is resistance right here and it could easily roll over in your face too. But all we're trying to do is get up here to mid band. Like that. Because guess what? If this is going to head down, what should hold on our swing? Well, right across here should hold. See it right there? So could you be ready to short that when it gets up there? If it gets up there? Absolutely. All right, our closest lightning now, well, it's taking it out. So now it's here. That's a lower high so far. Then our swing. I just turned that off, didn't it? Turn it on again. Let's see, the lightning on the chart really helps to assist the swings that should be used. I totally agree with that, Roger. I like the lightning swings myself because you can clearly see, if you're a conservative trader or if you're an aggressive trader, you can really see where the trade is. For instance, here's lightning right here. Could you actually short this thing at a lower high than that? Just, go ahead and hit, like, say, well, we already got it accidentally. Let's turn it off. If you shorted it like here, right, and then move your target down to the low, all right, but what if it breaks this, like right across there, and you just simply add one? And get your sniper turned on and add, like that. Let's see, before I lost sound, you were set up to short a retrace back up 29.56, but then when you were off, apparently you decided that it should be a long out of the box. Well, that's the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to show here, Daryl, is too, that if you want to trade the lightning micro swings and scalp the markets, you'll be amazed at how well you can do that, because lightning works in what we call the longer term trend, right? It works on that lightning 2, and it works on lightning 1. Now, what I like to do, you don't even have to draw it. You can see it. For instance, when it broke right above here, that was pretty much telling you that that was lightning on a micro side. So what do they normally do? They'll thrust up above it, pull back to it, and then take off. But you'll be surprised how much you can scalp these right back to mid-band and things like that. Okay. Now, where's your lightning right now? Well, it's still right there because this is not identified. See, it never took out the high. So that's not an identified swing. This is. So we got 2. Just go ahead and add 2. And we need more than touch plus 0. We need touch plus. Yeah, that's good enough. We got our 4. Looking to the left to trade the right. What do? Look at our swings. I like to at least get 5, 6 ticks, something like that. So obviously, there's your swing right there. That's where you'd want one of those targets to come off. This one would be here, and then look to the left to trade the right. Next one would be there. And next one would be right there. And you could just watch it as it comes down to it, if it comes down to it. And always protect yourself with lightning once it's identified. If lightning is identified, that means it's trending, the micro trend. Okay? The medium trend is more what you're looking at for these nice retracements back into these mid bands and things. Where could we put our stop right this very moment? Well, as soon as it closes below this. I like to get a close, good close below it. If 2 bars close, you're on the money. You don't have to worry about that. See that swing right there? That's the way to trade this. It's actually a pretty good way to trade it. And if they don't come down where you want them to, just watch your lightning. If it takes you out, guess what? You got other trades. Still in. Doesn't mean this trade's going to work out. It never means it's going to work out. Matter of fact, if it takes out that lightning swing, we're done with this trade. Notice where it came exactly on top of that little swing there. See it? Well, it actually took it out by 2 ticks. So now you've got support right here. So I would definitely move one of my targets there. I'd bring that one back to there because we're not doing what we want it to do right now, and leave a runner. We'll see if we can get anything more. Now that's actually support right there at 51. So if that 51 holds and you're a gutsy trader, you can actually take a bounce off of it. But I personally wouldn't do it without it taking out lightning. That's a little too risky. If it blows through 51, then we'll be okay. But right now, 51 is our support and 64 is resistance. You want to try a counter trend if it happens to go lightning again? See, when I was talking, let's see, it was 2 weeks ago. No, it was a week ago on the 3 trends. That was, I think, a week ago, Wednesday night, wasn't it? Talking about the 3 trends. These little micro trends are still tradable. Okay, but you've got to trade it the true lightning way. In other words, if you get a thrust down and you get a pullback, it's not an identified swing yet, is it? It has to take out the previous low or the previous high in the case of a uptrend. What I'm saying is you would only take what we call the identified swing. Okay? Now, if you're gutsy, if you want to box this in, you certainly could. See, we just got stopped out. Okay, so now looking to the left to trade the right, where's our identified swing? We got one here, low, little higher high, so it barely took it out, right? So I haven't checked this one yet. So right up here, or here, that's our lightning swing. And if this happens to go up here, this will be our lightning swing, like that. Not yet. Still hadn't closed yet. See how lightning's doing low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. There, it's identified, okay? This swing is also identified, right? It's taking it out a little bit. Still got a bar close. Whoops, that's not bar close, that's sniper. Okay, we're in, and that's mainly because it just wicked there, but I'll tell you what, this trade, since it really went above this, but see, this is not an identified medium swing, okay? So I would put my stop above that ellipse, just in case. Because you definitely don't want to lose a bunch on a trade like that, because that looks like that could easily break out. Looking to the left to trade the right, you got a swing right there. So, well, didn't get it moved in time, but that's where you wanted it. And we just got one left right now, right? But what can we do again, though? What have I been teaching for the last almost hour now? Right underneath that swing, that's our lightning swing, isn't it? Could we take that? We're still short one. We're not going long. Well, we accidentally just added. That's okay. That was at resistance, by the way, at the sniper line. I just didn't get the top one turned off in time. Lightning swing right there. See, that's an identified swing. That other one to the left is not identified. That one at 60 is identified. That means that so far, if you look at that, it's heading up until it takes that out. There we go. We got in 4. Where do you think more than likely this is going to test back? Looking to the left to trade the right. I'll bet you it tests right back to that line right there that I'm drawing and rolls. See there? They break, they check. That's what trading is all about, is these breaks and checks, breaks and checks. constantly. What do you want to bet if it breaks 57 that it comes back and checks it? Watch it in real time and see if it doesn't do it. Okay, so far it's checked this little swing right here, right? Now if it breaks here, what do you think it's going to do? Well, it'll look to the left to trade the right, and it'll come back and kiss it. I'll speed it up. We're almost through. We actually are through. It's 12:01, isn't it? But watch and see how this will more than likely break 57. See there? That's 57 right there. And watch it come back and kiss it. See there? It may take it out a little bit, but it can't take out that identified swing. So couldn't you, if you just got in this trade just now, all right, like right here, let's just pretend that you just simply took that trade right there, okay, and you're in, well then guess what? Your stop would be at the identified swing to the left, which is right there. Can't take it out. Put it on exit on close. You'll have that soon. And where do you, why did I move my stop there? Accidentally grabbed it. All right. And that's exactly the way you do it. You can literally draw on your charts and take these scalps. If you learn how to see these little swings and always make sure that they don't take out your previous one, you can counter trend if you want to. But it's got to be stepping. It can't be going, you know, like sideways on lightning. You have to look for the identified swing. Everybody see that? And real quick, where would your stop be? Not yet, right? It would be right here right now. Identified swing. Till it takes this out, this is not identified. Lightning 1 on the chart, yeah. When will this swing right here become identified? Well, it is now, isn't it? So couldn't you put your stop just above that swing? Absolutely you could. Now, if you don't want to counter trend, just simply wait for the trade to be the true direction and use lightning. See how that came exactly to that yellow area again and trying to roll over? Now, if that's going to be a bottom at all, guess what it'll do? It'll take out our stop. And it looks like it's going to me because that's actually more lightning to the upside. See it? Low, high, higher, low. That's your lightning swing right there. Anytime they're doing that, be careful with it because that is actually starting to do what? It's heading upward, trying to check these a little bit more medium swings. See if we take out that low. If we don't, they're going to take us out. Now, looking to the left to trade the right, does everybody see that you could actually be ready if you wanted to trade either direction on this chart? But if you want to stay with the trend, then obviously you want to short these tops and buy these bottoms. And if this is going to act the way we want it to, it needs to take out this swing right across here, which it did with a wick, and come back and kiss it and roll over, but it's not doing it. It's going to take us out, more than likely, because you're getting higher lows and higher highs. And anytime you see that where you've just barely taken out a previous low like that, you don't have to stay in this trade till they take you out. You can just hit the close button because you're done. Okay? All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming. We'll do this again on Monday. We'll call them out live in the room. I'll draw on the charts where resistance should be and where support should be, and it'll give us a chance to get some nice scalps. Notice that we just kind of scalped today a little bit more, and then we did some runs. But those scalps will add up too. Tuesday morning, yes. Let's see, Roger. We do offer instructions on the use of Object Trader at the site. There's a 2-hour video on there, the very top. Matter of fact, let me show it to you before we wrap. Bear with me a second. If you go to vipertradingsystems.com homepage, actually not homepage, sorry, webinar page, we've got a bunch of YouTube videos on here, and training on all Viper indicators and Object Trader. That's a 2-hour webinar. Wow, somehow Charles didn't get his thumbnails on there. I'll have to check that and see why our thumbnails disappeared. I'll fix that. Exit on close, Peter. I'm actually working on that this weekend, so I think you'll get it in time to trade on Monday. And be sure and use the template that I'll send, because we're trying to make everything a little bit easier to remember and have them in order again. And I basically named everything object trader this, that, and so, since we constantly talk about the boxes, the rays, and all that. All right, thanks everyone. Have a very good weekend. Bye now. I'll fix those little thumbnails. Not sure what happened.